Good morning, everyone. I'm just trying to get the attention of one of my councilmen in the back of the room. This is Ted Weil, one of our councilmen, coming forward. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Rancho Mirage. Welcome to Rancho Mirage City Hall. And today we've called a special study session for 11 a.m., and I see a big crowd here today, so hopefully we'll have plenty of time to hear from all of you. If you would all please stand and join me in the salute to our flag. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cindy, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Councilmember Hines is absent. Councilmember Hobart?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Smotrich? Here. Councilmember Weil?
Here.
And Mayor Kite?
Okay, here. Thank you very much. Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak on any item that's not on the study session today? Good, because this is going to be devoted strictly to the item which we had noticed, hopefully all of you, previously by mail. Today we're going to have a discussion of the potential transfer of administrative control and operation of the Rancho Mirage City Golf Club to the Weston Mission Hills Golf Club and Resort and Spa. And we've invited all of you here today. Hopefully you are currently golf members. How many of you are golf members? Okay, well that's great. I'm glad you all can make it here today. I'd like to turn the meeting over to Gloria Griego, who is our contract specialist, who will briefly discuss the item for today. Gloria?
Mayor, City Council, as directed, staff was asked to schedule this study session to invite golf club members to provide comments on the possible transfer of the golf club to the Weston. 1,016 residents were mailed the notice. I will now turn this over to the mayor for public comment.
Okay, thank you, Gloria. Before we start today, is there anybody that would like to make a comment? Iris? No. Okay, Dana?
Well, yes, I'd like to just summarize why we're here. The meeting that we held on November 7th was a meeting that is similar to today. It was where the city council was to make a decision as to whether it would agree with recommendations that we turn over the golf program to the Weston and that the city abandon it, its role, subject to, pursuant to the arrangement that had been made with the Weston, pursuant to the Weston at the end of 1 year deciding to keep the program going. In which case, if they hadn't, the idea would be that the city of Rancho Mirage could take it back in whatever shape or condition the club was a year from now. The issue was considered by myself and Ted Weil and Councilman Smotrich to require much further discussion, particularly bringing the members of the club who wanted to attend into the discussion, and our choices are essentially this at the moment. I don't know if I don't see Ross Meredith. Ross, are you here?
Ross is
there he is back there with a hat on. No, next to somebody with a hat on, or behind, in front of somebody with a hat on. Ross is here, and Ross will be able to explain what it is they're looking for. I would point out that what the options are at the moment are we turn over the golf club to the Weston, and we no longer have a golf club. As one of the two people in 2002, Ron Mipos and I, who brought the golf club to the council and started it at that time, I was not enjoying the idea of losing the golf club, and I thought that there were areas that we could explore with the Weston. Our choices are, if the Weston takes it, we can do one of two things. We can abandon, have no interest at all, have no golf club. Or we can have a golf club with other local courses available to us. And we know that there are some because we've talked to them. And so Mr. Meredith and I had a couple of conversations, but we had a meeting. And at the meeting, I tried to explain to him that all of the objectives that the Weston had, which primarily centered around marketing their golf program, broader, bringing in hotel remuneration and discounts, and same with food and whatever their overall plan was, that they could do that with us maintaining our club. That we could still have our club, making it available to our homeowners or people who are here for 5 months or longer. And we didn't make much progress at that time, and I don't know that they've changed, and I know my view hasn't changed. So that's essentially it. We either go to them and walk away from it on our own, having our own club, or we let them have theirs, do their program. They're going to want to market to the rest of the valley, the Weston Club, and solicit additional players for their course, which they have every right to do. But they could do that, in our view, or my view, regardless if we have our club. We could still have ours. And if they can't agree to that, then we have to decide whether we want to continue with our club and have the club. Maybe some members will join the Weston Club and not stay with our club. Some members would join both clubs and play golf under both club memberships. And some people will have other thoughts, perhaps. But those are the issues that we face and that we're going to be discussing, and we hope that you give us input on, because we felt that the members of the club may not care, or they may care. Some people raise the issue that it adds something to our property values, enhances the ability to sell houses. I don't personally know about that, but some members feel strongly about that. At any rate, that's the general overview as I see it, and I'll look forward to hearing whatever all of you have to say.
Okay, thank you. Just like to clarify one of Dana's points that he just made about the alternatives. The alternative as far as letting the Weston run the golf club is not that the city would abandon the golf club. The golf club would still be in existence as it is today. The primary difference would be that the golf club would be operated by the Weston, and they would also be responsible for selling the memberships. But the city would still be involved in marketing the golf club. It would still read, as it does today, Rancho Mirage Golf Club. So as Dana said, we have two choices here. We have the choice of maintaining the golf club with the Weston running it, or we have the alternative of running our own golf club separate from the Weston with different golf courses. So that's what we hope to discuss today. The subcommittee, which had met with the Weston over a period of 2 or 3 months, looked at the alternatives, and we felt very strongly we did not want to give up the relationship of the Weston with the city of Rancho Mirage. And unfortunately, if we do not continue with them, the Weston would still offer another membership but it would not be part of the Rancho Mirage Golf Club. In fact, they're offering that membership today. So, Ted, any comments?
No, I think I'd like to hear from the golf members and also from the Weston. I think there is conceivably a compromise in the options that you've just described, but I'd like to hear the comments first before we get into that.
Okay, normally we pass out a form for you to sign if you want to speak, but we're going to do away with that today. So we would hope that each of you would have an opportunity to speak if you can stay to the subject of the golf club, and I assume you would because that's why you're here. And if you would like to just come forward, give your name and your city of residence, we can begin now. So if you'd like to raise your hand to speak, I'll certainly call on you. Yes, sir, over here. Good morning, and we will, since there are a number of you here today, we'll try and limit the comments to 3 minutes if possible.
Okay. Michael Saywitz, I'm a resident and homeowner of Rancho Mirage. I just would like to take umbrance with one thing that you said, Mayor Kite, with regard to maintaining the same program that currently exists. As I understand it, the program that currently exists is going to be changed in that it is made available to the entire Coachella Valley. At the moment, the program is exclusive to Rancho Mirage residents, which we believe not only adds some value to our real estate within the perimeters of the city, but also prestige to the city itself.
Yeah.
My concern is that what's being offered to the residents is not significantly different than what would be offered to the entire Coachella Valley. And we've seen through, as I've said before, we've seen this take place with the Classic Club, and the tee times are virtually unavailable. What we're looking for is something that Mr. Hobart and late Mr. Mipos had created, which was some exclusive feature that made us on a par with the city of Palm Desert, which has Desert Willows, La Quinta, which has Silver Rock, and the IW Club in Indian Wells. Even though the city does not own a golf course, the perception is that we have a city course. The program that's offered at these other locations are much more favorable to the residents than what's being offered by the Weston at the moment. And even the Desert Willow program, if I can give an exhibit of what...
Sure, you could give it to the city clerk down there.
This is a copy of the program that's available at Desert Willows, which offers a premium program similar to what the Weston was suggesting at $275 and $375, but at a number substantially less for residents, and gave a 21 advance day tee time notice for residents and members of the club. What we're suggesting is that the city maintain the existing club that exists. The Weston can have their own club to promote the marketing of their property, which they're certainly entitled to do. But we would like to see the Rancho Mirage residents have at least a 7-day advance tee time. And as far as the price goes, even though the other cities like Palm Desert is $15 for their card, we'd like to have a reduced, a number less than the rest of the Coachella Valley. And if we didn't get the gifts of the golf balls and the cap, and we paid $55 instead of $75, it would appear to the consumer or the public that there was a special arrangement for the residents of Rancho Mirage. And we'd like to urge the council to promote it. Thank you.
Just to answer your first question, whether this would be a completely separate club from what the Weston is doing right now, it would be a separate club. It would still be the Rancho Mirage City Golf Club, and it would have preference over the other Weston club, which they are now started. There would be a 4-day allowance for tee times, where the club they are starting right now has a 3-day.
Except it's my understanding that someone can buy that privilege by buying the top tier of their program. Instead of owning $1 million home in Rancho Mirage, for several $100s, they can get the same benefit.
Right, and the comment that the general manager made last time about that, he would be very excited if they were able to sell 100 of those memberships as compared to 1,000 members that we now have.
Well, then they shouldn't mind giving it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, over here.
My name is Jim Barnaby. I'm a resident here in Rancho Mirage. Just moved here in December, by the way. First of all, I like the Weston property. I like the golf courses, so I'm really happy with everything there. And I like the way everything's set up. And as far as the money issue, I don't have a concern with the fee that's being charged, either for the green fees or for the card. My only question or concern is kind of like the other gentleman said, is the exclusivity of the membership. I also have a card for the Classic Club in Palm Desert, right, and it's open to all residents of all of Coachella Valley. And because of that, I can confirm it's really hard to get a tee time there. Mm-hmm. I typically don't even book tee times. I just show up, and I usually have no problem getting on at the Westin. Granted, I rarely play during the weekend, and I kind of feel that with their hotel guests there, that's what they want to sell. Their hotel guests, they probably have a lot in town for the weekend, so kind of that's their time to play golf. So I don't have a problem with that. I mean, and the summertime, obviously, it's not an issue. But I guess that would be my only concern, is I feel if we give it up and then they offer this program to everyone in Coachella Valley, then we do kind of lose the prestige and the exclusivity of the program. I mean, of living in Rancho Mirage. It's the nicest city here in the Coachella Valley, and I think it's kind of nice that we have a program and we have a relationship with a nice golf course. And I think it does add value to your real estate. Like I said, I love the people at the Westin are really great guys. I've gotten to know a lot of them, most of them, and they all know me. And like I said, I like golfing there, but I would hate, and I can't. I know they have a business end that they're looking at, a financial end, but personally, I like it the way it is. I hope it's not changed, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents because I do think if it is offered to all of Coachella Valley, it's going to change, and it's people from Indio or La Quinta or whatever, they can come over here and it's going to be crowded. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they need more golfers on the course. I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it's in the weekday, it's not too bad. I mean, you can usually get on, and it's and like I said, the money thing, as far as the card, I don't think $75 a year is a lot of money. And the green fees, during the high season are really good. What they offer residents in the summertime, it's really no better. You can get the same rate online, or
it's about $35, I think, during the summer.
And that's not any better than what anybody else could get walking on during the day, or if they went online, they could actually get it cheaper. I played with a guy one time who got it for like $19 or something. So, so the summertime, that's not even, you can't even count the summer, but I'm just talking like during this time of year, and I just think it's a special thing to the fact that we have this program here. So that's my 2 cents. I don't want to cause any problems with the Westin but I like it the way it is, and I think it does add something special to be, by being a Rancho Mirage resident. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming this morning. Just to clarify one point here, the Westin has already began selling memberships on their club. So that club is going to continue on at this point, whether we decide to have an arrangement with the Westin or not. So that club is in operation. You can join it today, and the cost is relatively the same. The difference will be that there will be a special free tea for a visitor, a playing time for a membership. If you're a member, you'll receive one free play for a friend or a neighbor. And the other benefit would be the tee times would be able to be made 4 days ahead rather than 3 days ahead. But remember, the Weston has already started their club. Over here.
Good morning. My name's Lois Solomon.
Good morning, Lois. Could you pull the mic down a little bit?
I have some questions. Number one, why is the city considering changing what we already have? Most of us like the program very much. Why are you considering changing it?
The Weston came to the city of Rancho Mirage and said we would like to take over the management of the program. So we had to respond to them, and they did not want to have the city to continue to operate the program. So they wanted to take over the management of the program.
All right. Now,
It's not the city's idea.
Yeah, we were responding to their inquiry.
And is the program going to be exactly the same as the program we have now with Rancho Mirage?
Yes.
If we join the city, if we join the Weston program, or are there changes?
No, they're exactly the same,
They will be the same,
except for the available tee times.
which I understand is going to be worse for us. We're going to have to. No, what will be?
It'd be better. You'd be able to get a tee time 4 days in advance, where their club will be 3 days in advance.
Unless you buy a higher membership.
Unless you have a higher membership, which you then entitled to the same membership of the City Golf Club.
So you're saying the program will be identical to
Yes.
what you have now?
Right.
And you have no choice but turning it over. I mean, they will not accept you as keeping your program the way
We've
as it is?
spent hours talking to them. In fact, I had a long conversation with the general manager last night, again, to see if we could postpone this transition. And the Weston has began their program. They want to go forward with what they're doing. They would be happy to manage the Rancho Mirage Golf Club, but they will not continue to offer their courses to us under the Rancho Mirage Golf Club.
So our choice is, we say, okay, take over our club, and hope that in a year you continue it or whatever, and have no club of our own.
Dana, we will still have our club.
Well, we see it differently, the mayor and I. We have our club maybe in name only, but it wouldn't mean anything. And the alternative is not to sign the agreement transferring it to the Weston, but rather say, no, we won't. You can come and cherry pick as many of our people as you can get. You have every right to offer them a Weston membership, and our members will not be we wouldn't try to persuade them not to join the Weston club. It's a good it'll be a good club for them. But on the other hand, we will still be able to maintain our club independent of the Weston, not managed by the Weston or controlled or administered by the Weston. But what we would have to do then is to provide other golf courses for our members who are members of the club to play at.
Why?
And that we would do.
The Weston won't give you enough. They won't let you do that?
They're saying they won't do it. They're saying
They won't.
They take over our club or there's no deal.
Oh.
And I say, okay, that's fine, but we are not, we're not even moribund, much less not dead, because I know that there are other courses that we can have that some will find as good, some will find not as good as the Weston.
And what are the courses?
Our members, our residents will have a choice, and they'll still have a club.
What are the courses, the other courses that would be available?
Well, we'll be talking to them. I don't want to mention names now, but we have talked to a couple, and I can just guarantee you that there are at least two, and we're still talking.
Now, to clarify this, you're saying anybody can join the Weston Golf Club,
Yes.
but they're going to have tee times available only 3 days before, and we are going to say it 4 days
Right.
before?
That's correct.
Is that's true?
That's correct.
I see. So they're not going to change anything that we have right now?
Anything that is in existence now will be
For 1
continued.
year?
For 1 year.
And we don't know what the option will be after the 1 year?
We have been doing this program now for 10 years.
I know you have, right.
And with the Weston, every year they've come back. We have renegotiated the program. They want to keep the relationship with the city. There'd be no advantage to them to all of a sudden stop the program.
Then why are they doing it if there's no advantage? There must be an advantage for them to do
No, I said no
it.
advantage for them to stop the program.
Oh, to stop the program?
Yeah.
But why are they bothering to run the program? Why do they want to do that? What's their advantage? There must be some reason why they want to do it.
They would like to have the ability to market the hotel to their other members out there and through the Premium Golf Club.
Why couldn't they market their hotel with us having the club membership exactly as we have it now? They can contact every one of our members.
Yeah. We'll get the general manager up here who can explain that to you maybe a little bit better.
Okay, I've been a member of this golf club ever since it started, and I think it's wonderful.
It is.
And I don't want to see any changes, and I don't see any advantage of switching over to the Westin. But of course, now I understand they will not renew your membership unless you switch over. They're not going to do that.
Right.
So,
unless it's part of the
right.
Unless it's part of the Rancho Mirage Golf Club.
But they are still considered, they will do the same 4 days in advance tee times?
Yes.
Because tee times is a definite consideration.
Right. That was one of our major considerations when we went through the discussion on this.
Okay,
we could also have our own club, and if you wanted to join their club, get one of the higher tiers that gave you the same 4 days that we get. You could get it that way.
Now, I don't understand what the upper tiers.
Price.
What do you mean by upper tiers? I'm not familiar with
They have a 3-tier program.
Okay.
They have their initial membership, I think, is around $75. Then they have 2 of them, additional ones, one at 200 and something, 275 and...
Yeah, the rates are $275 and $375.
And what do those give the golfer?
Do they both get? Do both levels get the advanced 4 days, or only one?
They get yes.
No.
What?
The other day you said 375.
The 375 is 4 days. The 275 is 3 days.
Well, that's why I'm wondering. And they're still going to give us 4 days?
Yes.
At the $75 level?
Right.
All right, as long as they honor their commitment, then I'm not unhappy with that. But it doesn't make sense to me. Why would somebody join the $300 level and get 4 days and get no other advantages?
Because part of that premium club and allows you to do other hotel services, such as their spa, their dining, their rooms, that sort of thing. So there are special incentives that the hotel is offering.
To join the upper tiers.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'm in favor of keeping it just the way it is. And if we can do it for $75, the same program that we have right now, I'll be happy. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Question down here. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Mike Trademan, and I've lived in Rancho Mirage for 12 years. In addition, I'm the president of the Mira Vista at Mission Hills HOA, which are 307 homes, all of which are on the Gary Player Golf Course. And I'm representing the HOA today. In addition, I'm a golfer, and I play typically between 50 and 75 rounds on the Gary Player and the Pete Dye course myself. So I've got a real vested interest, and I've been a member since I've lived here.
You're one of our really active members.
Really active member. Yeah. Not good, but very active, unfortunately. And I've enjoyed the golf club since I've been here, since it's been formed. I'm really upset, though. I joined the Classic Club Golf Club a few years ago and could never get a tee off time. I played once and decided not to go back there, even though I liked the course. Right. My big fear is that our homeowners, many of which are golfers, moved to Rancho Mirage for the golf club. It was part of the benefits of living in Rancho Mirage, the playground of the presidents. So, honestly, our homeowners feel, as they've told me, that not having a golf club would significantly reduce the value of the home, or to some degree, reduce the incentive or the ability to sell the home or the value of their homes. Previous to this, our board has met twice with the Westin Hotel management, people that are here, to complain about the quality of the course and the condition that the course is in, which has been really degenerating since they opened, I think, 11 or 12 years ago. We used to have flowers all over the course. There's no flowers on the course. We made a plea to Ross that the Westin has the same ownership as the Marriott Desert Springs. Same company owns both resorts, all the golf courses. And the Desert Springs Marriott has a much nicer looking golf course. I've played there quite a few times, as does the Gary Player and the Pete Dye. And they have come back and said that they would try to beef up the course and clean up the course from the windstorm we had, and they have made some degree of improvement on the course. So we've had a good relationship with them. What I'd like to suggest, similar to what Michael Saywitz said, was that the people of Rancho Mirage get some sort of preferential treatment based on the relationship we've had with the Westin for as many years, and the fact that the idea of the golf club, frankly, came from the city, not from the hotel. So we're recommending that the people of Rancho Mirage get 7-day notice. Bear in mind, Palm Desert gets 21 days notice, but that we get 7 days notice for the city of Rancho Mirage residents, and that, the $55 I thought was a good idea for the city people, and the city may have to beef up the money or something in between and negotiate, but we don't need all the goodies that they give us, just give us the tee times. 7 days notice. The big problem we have is the notice. And I think the city should get a very preferential treatment for the advanced tee times versus the people, the general public. Not everybody's going to get on the phone the first day and try to do that. So I think if we don't get some significant preferential treatment, it's really not much of a Rancho Mirage golf club. And if we didn't get that, it would be my recommendation that the board find other courses for us to go to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. The financial aspect of operating this course for the city of Rancho Mirage has really never been a major consideration. It's always, we wanted to provide something to our residents that was an additional benefit. We've been able to negotiate with the Westin over the years regarding the membership fee, which has always been the same level, and the tee time and the green fees. So maybe we can look at doing some reduction and the city offsetting some of that cost, but it's always been, we want a quality course and we want it for our Rancho Mirage residents. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Yes, please. Gosh, all of you out there, I would hope you'd have come forward and let us know what you think. Good morning.
Good morning. My name's Steve Hellman. I live in Rancho Mirage. I agree with a lot of the comments that have been made this morning. The one thing that I would encourage the council to consider is how can we expand the program beyond the 2 courses that are currently available to us over at the Westin. It seems to me that, if we were able to do that, we would have obviously a more robust program for residents. But also it would, I think, spread this out around instead of doing business with one organization as well. And there are other courses in Rancho Mirage that I think could use the opportunity to expand their play by opening it up to hopefully the golf club here at Rancho Mirage. So I would be in favor of looking at it from that view in terms of expanding the number of courses we can play, because I think if we go in the direction we're in, we're really locking down and we're going to have to stay strictly within what the Westin provides. I don't think they want to go out and market, or add courses to the Rancho Mirage Golf Club.
Steve, if I could give you just a little bit of history. It was about 3 years ago, maybe 4. I was on the subcommittee for the golf club with the Westin. And when we were negotiating the coming year's contract, I had proposed, not just proposed, but said the city wanted to add at least one more golf course to this program. At that time, the general manager, who was not Ross Meredith, went into an extreme dialogue with respect to their economic condition, how bad that would hurt them, how much they would appreciate not doing that. And when they laid out their case, I said at that time, I acquiesced and said, okay, it's a partnership. We don't want to hurt you. Didn't think it would affect you that much, but since you think it would, we will consent to not proposing an additional course. And now she was on the other foot. We're saying try something different. Don't pull away entirely. Don't give it as either us or the highway, which is up to now what it's been. And if they don't change that, I can tell you, I, for one, am strongly in favor of soliciting other courses because they are out there. Now, like I said before, some of our members will belong to both. They'll join the Weston Club. They'll join our club. But our club will remain in competition to them if we don't make an arrangement with them where we can continue to have our club. We'll stick with the 2 courses and go forward. As much as I would like to see some of our other clubs get the money that would come to them, because the ones that we have spoken with have talked about it in strong economic terms, and we would be doing a great service to 2 other or 3 other courses in our city if we did add them. So, I mean, it would be a good warm feeling to be able to bring in and help some other clubs. So my view is if the Weston pushes us, okay, fine, you're right. It's a capitalistic society, and if the partnership that we thought we had is not really a partnership, then we have our options.
I agree.
You mentioned other clubs. Which ones would you have in mind?
Well, the only ones I'm really familiar with are the Rancho Mirage Country Club, which is where I actually live. So even though I go over and play the Weston, but that would be certainly one club that.
How would you rate the quality of that club compared to the Weston?
I've only played the Pete Dye, and I ended up playing it. I'm relatively new here. I moved here last December. And I played the Pete Dye when they were just before they went to reseeding. So it was, I would say at that point in time, they were about equivalent.
Okay.
But
if I may add,
I enjoyed playing both courses. So
yeah. Okay.
If I may add, it's kind of apples and oranges to compare one club or one course to the other. Right now, we're trying to stay with one club and 2 courses, no change. So to compare, we don't have a choice of comparing one course to the other. We are going to be handed, if it doesn't change, we're going to be handed our walking papers, and therefore it's not a matter of comparing the 2. It's just a matter of playing whichever ones you want to play. I would say that when the Weston is fully manicured and up to snuff, both courses, the Gary Player and the Pete Dye courses, are just wonderful courses, and I enjoy playing them immensely. But if we can't, we can't. That's my view.
I agree.
Thank you very much for coming this morning. Way in the back. You're about back as far as you can go. Yeah, come forward. Good morning to you.
Nancy Henkin, also resident of Rancho Mirage since 1998 and also playing at the Weston the best I can. I can actually see both sides of this. It's very easy to see and understand. You had a wonderful idea, both you and Ron, back in 2002, Dana. And that was, we were sitting here without a golf course, and you approached the Weston. They agreed to create a resident golf program for those members in Rancho Mirage, and it's been going well. And I can also understand why the Weston would financially want to get more involved and take it over, because they have more than a golf course to promote. They also have a hotel and resort and spa, etc., restaurants. So it's a financial decision as well, I think, for both parties. You mentioned those other courses, Richard. I've played both of them, and the Weston is superior to both of them. Right. As far as your negotiations going with the Weston, I think you would have to offer them some type of package that would be best for both of you in order to stay together. I think the main concern that a lot of the golfers have, and I've spoken to John Vesper about it, is will it be overcrowded? And he's assured me that they would cut off the golfers if that were the case, or that Rancho Mirage residents would have a day ahead of the other residents here in the valley. And of course, none of us know what the future will hold. We have no idea how many residents are going to be coming in to this beautiful course from around the valley. I'm also a realtor, so I'm also concerned with the homes that surround these courses. One of the things that personally I would like to see with this is if you were to join with the Westin on this, of course, that they would continue to promote the packages that they have. I can see that this is important to them, and they should. But the advantage to the residents would be your financial contribution, as you have done in the past, which might lower some of the tee times for us and make it more advantageous as they are in Indian Wells, Palm Desert, and La Quinta at the other city courses. And perhaps extend the tee times to 7 days, as the gentleman here mentioned, versus 4, move it to 7. I would like to see both of you work on this so that you can still keep your fingers in the pie, but work with them, not against them, and allow each party to win. And also, the most important thing is make the residents, so it can be a win-win-win on all three parts. Nice seeing you all again.
Thanks.
Nancy, before you leave,
Question over here.
yeah, you should be a diplomat to the UN, actually. I think you're missing your calling. How do you, as a realtor, market the Rancho Mirage Golf Club?
Interesting that you mentioned that. I just created a new website in addition to my existing website, and it's called Mission Hills Luxury Properties, because, of course, these courses are all on Mission Hills properties. So it's Mission Hills Luxury Properties, and we talk about the homes naturally on the courses. And then what I've also done is I've added a section for both Mission Hills Country Club, which is the private course and club, and also the Westin, which is the public course and club. So the website has the components of homes, private and public golf courses on it, in addition to all the other Rancho Mirage city, like the council, how to collect garbage, restaurants, etc. on it. So it can be one stop shopping, I guess. Go there and hit a link, and you can go to all these various different places in Rancho Mirage.
Do you, by name on your website, use the name Rancho Mirage City Golf Club?
I haven't done that yet until all of you get together and make a decision. It's now called the Westin Resident Discount Program, because they have started that. And when I called City Hall here last month and asked about if the city was going to get involved, they said we haven't made a decision yet. So I couldn't put that on because it hasn't been decided yet.
But the city has had this golf club for a long period of time, but you haven't used the name.
No, I just put, Ted, I just put this website up about 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a hand back here. Come forward, please. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Don Hardy. I'm a resident here in Rancho Mirage. Just like a follow-up question with that last lady who was here. I recently moved here, and yes, every time you look at any real estate listings, they usually say, if you buy in Rancho Mirage, you will get the Rancho Mirage resident discount to golf the Westin Mission Hills. Just as you look at Indian Wells, and definitely they always talk about Indian Wells residents play Indian Wells resorts for $35. Or it used to be 35, I don't know if it still is.
Excuse me. They talk about the discount. What I want to clarify is they talk about the discount, but is the specific nomenclature the Rancho Mirage City Golf Club.
Yeah, that you didn't see very often. From what I looked at, all the listings I looked at when I moved here, but it was very pertinent that if you lived as a Rancho Mirage resident, you took advantage of the Rancho Mirage Golf Club program, even though it may have not been, the realtors may not have put that in their listings.
Right.
But we were very cognizant of the fact that the Weston Mission Hills hosted Rancho Mirage residents golf program. And that is my pertinent question. I need a little clarification for these gentlemen who've been negotiating this. You mentioned negotiations with the Weston Mission Hills over the last decade or more. And are those things privy, or I guess my question is there a subsidy which the city provides to Mission Hills in these negotiations you mentioned that allow us to golf for those negotiated rates?
Yes, big ones.
There is a big subsidy?
Yeah.
And so my question then would be the $75 we paid last year.
That all goes to the Weston.
1,000 plus members, that's $75,000.
That's right.
Can you share with us what that subsidy is in total? Or is there an additional to what our members?
But it's turned out to be about, some years we've had a profit, some years we've had a loss. The biggest loss we've had has been $10,000. There have been a couple of losses around $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 to the city, which, from a council perspective, if you say $10,000 for a program that benefits 1,000 people, that's an awfully good bargain for what the city can bring in the way of an amenity at a reasonable price. But there is some charge, some loss to it. Sometimes. So it has been recently.
The Weston actually operates at a loss on most of the playing time for the members, so we do offset that
That's what I was
to
wondering.
keep the prices down.
So do they calculate then per golfer and per green fee and then come back to you and say,
yes,
we had X number thousand of rounds?
We look at the rounds.
Okay.
And that's how we base the payment to
on
them.
a monthly basis, the number of the rounds times X dollars, and we send them another check.
Right.
Great.
I send them a big check in the beginning, and then monthly.
Okay. I appreciate that. I mean, I can understand now. I think probably many of the golfers in the room, I look at this program, I have to say I have enjoyed it, I appreciate it, and I enjoy both those golf courses. They're terrific golf courses. I'd hate to see you move, but I know we've got to get the best deal for the residents to make it lucrative for Rancho Mirage. And I mean, I think of it, if you send out 1,000 plus letters, my reading in the local paper is there's only 16,000 residents in Rancho Mirage. That's 1 out of 16 golfs. I think that's pretty significant for sure. So if the subsidy needs to be upped to keep those green fees at a level or for our tee time advantages for the booking, I would encourage that. But I can see the dilemma, and I do understand where Mission Hills is coming from because it's not a charity they run; it's a for-profit business. So I hope we are successful, and appreciate it.
We have always structured the program to try and be the most the best opportunity for golfers and for our residents. So we felt that the membership fee plus the green fees were very attractive on a year-round basis.
Great. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
And you know, Don, just one last point. We are very much in favor of the Weston being able to market to our members. There will be no impediment, whether they're called their members or our members. They can do the same marketing that they will do to everybody else. And we encourage that. We will give them the names and addresses and emails of everybody who's a member of the club if they don't already have it. By now, I assume they've got most of them, but we'll give that and encourage them to offer the same kind of packages to our people as that they're offering the rest. There's nothing about taking over our club that's mandatory or a necessity in order to do that marketing.
Sure, okay. My only thing from what I've heard this morning, when I hear those levels to the programs that Mission Hills is selling to the rest that are going to offer to the community and the rest of the valley would be, if it's a 1 year initiation period, my question as a resident would be, if we're getting it for $75 and other people are paying $275 or $375, depending on their level of involvement, where you get the benefits in terms of tee times, what would happen to us next year as Rancho Mirage residents? My only concern I can see thus far would be, I hope they don't increase the fee to $275 or $200 for Rancho Mirage residents and it's $275 for the rest of the valley. That would be
we would agree with you.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I'd like to call forward Ross Meredith, who is the general manager of the Westin. Ross, would you like to come forward? And I know you've heard a lot said today, and maybe you can answer some of the questions regarding the program. And
thank you very much.
Nice to have you here today.
Thank you. Do you mind if I as much address my comments to the
You certainly may.
guests? First of all, thank you for being great. I don't think I need that. May I? Thank you for being great customers of the West.
Ross, we're recording the
recording
session,
it.
so yeah,
Okay.
so if you could stick
Can we give
close
him the
to-
microphone? Ross, you'll have a microphone.
Thank you very much. So first of all, thank you for being great customers of ours at the golf course. We appreciate that, and great neighbors. I think we're largely, in my opinion, talking somewhat semantics here. What the Westin proposal is that we take you in under our umbrella, produce a card that has a golf logo, the city golf logo, in addition to the Westin golf logo. It's an exclusive card to Rancho Mirage residents only. It gives you 4-day booking window, and this year we wanted to enhance it, so we gave proposed to give everyone a voucher for a guest green fee. So you pay $75 and it's now free because every one of you has a cheap brother-in-law who shows up looking for you to take him golfing sometime once a year, I'm sure. So you get to hand him this little voucher and say at least he didn't have to pay for it. We would hope that we'll sell 1,000 of those memberships. Would be great, the same kind of numbers that we've done in the past on Rancho Mirage. And then if we were fortunate to sell 500 additional members to people outside the valley, I know there's people already that golf with friends on a Friday or a Saturday at our courses that are excited now because they live in Palm Desert, and so they can now join the membership program and come and play with their foursome and join the group. So we are currently at, if we added 500 members to the program, we'd be thrilled. There is a third tier level for $375. You get a room night and some discounts on F&B and a few other things that, as I think Mayor Kite said, we'd be thrilled if we sell 100 of those. The difference between the program that took place in Classic Club, I think they sold 5,000 members. It was a total nightmare. I wasn't around at the time, but it was a total nightmare. They sold them at what, about $1 each or something silly, $35 or something, 15, and gave you $35 golf rounds, and guess what? Nobody could play. Our golf rounds are competitive, but they're not free, so it keeps the membership values, I think, or the number of people joining our club will be limited but not large. So I guess the other thing that's important to remember that surprised some people earlier is the Rancho Mirage golf program represents 11% of the rounds of golf in the two courses. So it's a portion of our golf, but it's not a material portion of our golf. And if we went from 1,000 members to 2,000 members, it might go from 11 to 20%. It's not like we're talking about we're going to double or triple the amount of rounds on the golf course because we have hotel guests, we own the timeshare villas next door, we have our hotel group guests, and we have people outside the valley that come and enjoy playing golf. So we are completely supportive if council decides they prefer to go in a direction by establishing alternative courses and retaining the current club program. We are no hard feelings, no disappointment per se. That's their right, their obligation, their choices, and they have if that's what they want to do, and they can look for, and we'll look for courses and have a great golf program potentially. We have embarked on our new program. We've sold 65 memberships as of this morning. We started 2 weeks ago, I think. Very excited. I think almost all of those are outside. No, I shouldn't say. We haven't really been allowed to, or we aren't allowed to market the Rancho Mirage relationship yet, or a golf relationship yet, because it hasn't passed council and may not pass council. But we've been able to sell to Rancho Mirage residents, but not per se as the golf program, as it sounds. So We will carry on with our great program. I guess I'll just add one point. I think from a realtor value perspective, I think there's more risk, quite honestly, on your asset values. If you're talking about the 5 HOAs that touch our 2 golf courses, if all of a sudden your the Rancho Mirage golf program is nothing to do with your 2 courses, our 2 courses, because now you've got this great program, but they have nothing to do with what you're looking at out the back window. So I think the advantage to having a continued relationship with the logo on our card, with an additional advanced day booking, and with a complimentary green fee still allows realtors, home values, opportunities for people to speak about. There is an exclusive Rancho Mirage benefit on using these 2 great golf courses, which is a 100% truthful statement. So I'm open to questions.
Ross, I have a question for you. Thank you
you
for being open to questions.
Thank you.
Your company brought this crisis on. Nothing we did brought it on. I call it a crisis because some important financial decisions have to be made. Explain to us, if you would please, if we continued our relationship exactly as it is, aside from you having the ability, compared to the city having that ability, aside from you having the ability in 1 year to raise prices on the membership, since you will be administering and managing the program, what is it about your marketing plan that you cannot accomplish with us going down 2 different paths side by side and continuing to be the true partners that we have been?
Well, a couple of things. I think we are largely doing that by retaining the logo and maintaining the optics and operations of a joint program. We want the ability to exclusively, unconditionally market, campaign, celebrate, and talk about our hotel. We want the ability, when those 1,000 guests arrive, to golf customers, to talk to them about tier level 2 and tier level 3.
And you could do that, could you not? No matter whether we were here having our club and you had your club with us being part of it.
Well, you're assuming we're selling the memberships then?
No, I'm assuming we're selling our memberships and we're giving you the money that we've been doing for the last 12 years.
So you're going to sell our level 2 and level 3 offerings and packages?
No, come on.
No, I'm sorry, misunderstood.
We're just going to continue as we are.
Okay, so to answer your question, why, is because we want the ability to market to those 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 people, an enhanced relationship with the property by selling them a package, or offering them a package at $275 maybe, that says you get 1 complimentary room night, and it's all documented. It's very clear what's out there. We've made it very clear. 1 documented, one guest room complimentary annually for that brother-in-law again. For 1, some discounts on food and beverage, some discounts on spa, some tennis program offerings. We want to have 1,000, 1,500 ambassadors of the Westin Mission Hills and our resort project. So just like when we sell timeshare at our adjacent properties or adjacent properties, we market you as an owner. So you're an owner when you buy a timeshare, and there's a sense of pride, there's a sense of relationship, there's a sense of membership. When you join a private golf course, you're happy to tell your relatives and friends, I'm a member of the XYZ golf course. It's a sense of pride, it's a sense of entitlement, it's a sense of a special relationship. And so we want to embrace that. We want that to be our relationship with the customer, with the end user and the golfer, that they're members of the Westin Mission Hills program, and we feel we don't get that to the same extent, or we don't get that in a relationship where they're city members. So that's the answer to the question is we enhance a whole different relationship with the customer.
Ross, I have a question that was raised by a couple of the members out there regarding the advanced tee times. Can we change that from 4 to 5 days or 6 days?
No.
Is there an opportunity there to do that?
There's not an opportunity to move it to 7 days. People pay $140 for those tee times, and our average rates with all our golf our average rates are materially more than the value we collect off the membership program. And as just like when you sell hotel rooms, you have some lower rated, some medium rated, some high rated. We can't give 7 days out access to every tea time. We're doing it on the extra day, so in no way do we take away anything from the relationship that we currently have, and with any interference from anyone outside the valley having that option. So when I say no way, I guess if City Council wanted to do a reimbursement of some economic reimbursement to the Western Mission Hills for a 5th or 6th day, that, of course I could look at that. But I can't just say you can have access. I guess it's like the Mercedes dealer that only gets 3 of the hot new cars in a year, and he's only got 3 to sell, and someone's saying, well, I want to buy one at cost. And it's like, well, I can't give you one at cost because there's 3 people that will pay me a lot more for them. So we need to manage, we have that responsibility to manage that. Okay. So I can't see changing it beyond 4 under the current formula.
Okay. Ross?
Sorry, yes.
Obviously, you're very bright because you answered some of the questions I was going to ask. Keep in mind that I was a timeshare developer, so I can relate very easily. As a matter of fact, my partner started the Starwood timeshare program and directed it, essentially, that you now have inherited. So I'm intimately familiar with both the mechanics and the numbers that you're dealing with. I assume, and of course, again, it gets back to dollars. I mean, everything that we're talking about and what you've just described is dollars. And would there be, and I think you just answered that, would there be a program at a reasonable figure, a tiered program that would be exclusively available to Rancho Mirage residents at a figure that would extend the reservation time to 5 or 6 days? Again, at a monetary figure, irrespective of whether that's paid by the resident or subsidized by the city. Are you open to that kind of an arrangement?
I guess the answer is yes. I guess if the question is would we be compensated for a 5th-day booking window or a 6-day booking window, we would be open to looking at that.
Well, and what I'm suggesting on that, Ross, is that additional period of booking
provides
would again be
would
be exclusive for the Rancho Mirage residents.
Right. And the 1 day we have now is not perceived as being enough. Is that correct?
What I'm saying is this: the 1 day evidently is not perceived to be enough, but conceivably there would be a tier that would be beneficial to all. And sure, we would love to leave it as it is at $75 with an extended reservation time. From what I'm hearing is that is not acceptable, because that causes you a problem in your program that conceivably would impede your own sales. Our people would obviously like a longer period to make a reservation. Maybe there is a way that with another tiered program of some kind, which involves a subsidy of some kind, there could be a manner that would allow both, would allow hypothetically 5 days, along with a tiered program that could extend it to 6 days. Again, it would be based upon a formula of dollars, but I guess my question is, are you amenable to sitting down and going through a dialogue that basically relates to a dollar program?
If we are the operator and owner and operator of the program, then I'm certainly open to that consideration. If it continues to go on the line that says this is a city-only program and the city is running it, the city owns it, the city controls it, the city administers it, then I don't think we'd be open to, obviously then we're not, then the relationship is different, so.
Well, if it were a city program, let's forget the operation for a moment. It would have all of basically the nomenclature of a city-operated program. With the residents having these advantages based upon some financial arrangement. Is that workable from your standpoint?
If you're referring to a city logo on a joint card that gives the optics and operational exclusivity operated by the Westin, yes. If you're talking about a exclusive city operated program, then no.
Well, forgetting the operation for a moment, the card would still be essentially the city program. In other words, it would have all of the optics that gives these people, whether it's the members or the realtors, again, the opportunity to market our city golf club.
By adding the logo to the program does exactly that. It says we've got a great program. It's exclusive to Rancho Mirage residents. It features these 2 phenomenal golf courses, and you get a 5-day booking window if that's what's negotiated, and a complimentary green fee, and it's exclusive just for Rancho Mirage residents. We're saying the same thing. But not if you're saying they go to City Hall, they sign up, it's a City Hall card, and it's a City Hall program, and every year Ross has to, the Westin Mission Hills has to come back and say, are you going to do the same program again next year? Because we're investing money, we've got billboards up, we're investing marketing campaigns, I'm buying lists, we're investing to grow this program. So we're taking on as our program. And so absolutely, if we need to find a way to get to 5 days, there's a way to do that under our program. There's not a way to do that if it remains a city program operated exclusively by the city.
But there is a method. I want to get over this hurdle of the operation because that seems to be a bit of a stumbling block. But if we could get by that, obviously not at this meeting, but if we could get by that, what I'm trying to get from you, and I think you've said that, is that there is a way to extend the reservation period exclusively for Rancho Mirage residents on some basis, irrespective of who operates that program.
I think I said yes to that 2 or 3 times.
Okay, and I guess I had to hear it 3 times.
I think I said yes to that 2 or 3 times, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes, question down here in front.
Nice to see you.
About 2 weeks ago,
Could you stand up so everybody can hear you? In fact,
come to
if
the
you
mic.
could come to the...
Thank you. Nice to see you. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, I tried to make a tee-off time at the Pete Dye course. Gary Play was closed.
Speak louder if you would.
I'm sorry. Is this on? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
that's good, Mike.
So I tried to make a tee-off time at the Pete Dye course about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and when I called the course up, they told me that the times that I wanted were being held for hotel guests, and I couldn't, even though it was like 3 days before the time, and they wouldn't release the times because they were being held for hotel guests. And so one of my perceived potential problems is that in addition to having problems opening it up to the whole Coachella Valley, that the hotel could just hold back tee-off times. I'm not sure it's in our contract or not, and I'm really worried that, I certainly can understand why you'd want to do that, but that would further reduce our ability to play on those courses.
So we've been doing that for years, where we'll the guest that's checking in on Friday that wants to play golf on Saturday, we want to have some times available. The hotel guests, they pay a rate maybe $10 or $12 more than you as a hotel guest. I think they pay 70. John, where am I at? 90 and 101. So right, what's okay? 90 and 101. Well, you charge them. Weekday, weekend, thank you. So we've been doing that. We've been doing that for all of this year, all of last year for sure. I think there's a fair amount of inventory. I'm not hearing a lot of inventory concerns. Now I know what you're saying is, does it get worse if the membership base grows? fair comment. I can't really answer that other than, we aren't interested in fighting with our members over availability like the Classic Club. I think we've all heard that story too many times in the industry. So we're not going to win any friends or influence many people if we can't provide an adequate amount of time. So, thank you. Yes.
Just down here in the second row, Ross.
Thank you. Just briefly, is there not a contract that is currently in effect for the year 2013?
There's a contract agreement in effect right now through the end of this year.
And does that provide the Weston to solicit their own members during the calendar year of 2013, as is being demonstrated today, that's currently underway?
Our contract does not refer to that.
It doesn't. Okay. One other quick question is that is it not possible for the benefit of the Weston to create a tiered program for residents of Rancho Mirage in addition to the tiered program that's available to everyone else? Because that would be, I think, a plus. Using the Desert Willow Platinum program as a guide, for $150, they offer a 21-day advanced tea time for residents. Now, that same program is available to non-residents for $3.25. But this is something that you could add for residents and would be additional volume.
I think it's difficult when we're talking about city-owned golf courses at other cities. So the city doesn't own these courses. The city owns Desert Willow. The city, that city does. So they have a different obligation and responsibility to be, they've invested huge amounts of capital and purchase price for that asset. So I think it's hard to compare what, values or offerings or prices. The city has made a conscious choice, and they can buy them both if they like. That's an official offer. Just kidding. The city's made a choice that they don't want to own or purchase golf courses. They don't want to spend the taxpayer capital money and assets that way. And so they don't have the ability to have the same, influence, or they don't have the ability just to sort of set pricing structures uniquely different. Could we look at our tiered structure again? I guess so. We just launched it 2 weeks ago, through 2.5 weeks ago, so I don't know if we're going to look at it quite tomorrow, but could we look at a different Rancho Mirage program in the future or somewhere through the year? I guess. We think we set out the program equally or better than what was in place previously. So.
Okay, way in the back. Ross, you're doing a great job so far.
Thank you, Ross. Okay, one thing I want to do is commend all of you because you're talking now, and that's great. The one stumbling block that I'm hearing is the operation of the program. And if you've collected $75 from 1,000 people, you're going to give that up. Oh, you get it anyhow. Okay, all right. So then that is a wash then, apparently. And like Ted mentioned, if you can give the residents a little bit better perk, like 5 or 6 days out, that's a little bit more comfortable for the residents. I think that's good. Then I think what they're asking you, and I'm just guessing here, is that they want to have they want it to look like that they are participating in this program with you, I think, if the $75,000 is not the biggest issue. And the other thing, Michael, that I just wanted to mention as far as Desert Willows, they don't have a hotel that they have to contend with, nor does Silver Rock. The only one that does is the Indian Wells Golf Course. No, but what I'm saying is that's why they can't go out 21 days, because they'd lose a lot of money on that, I think.
You can't give all our inventory away too quickly when there's group requests. I think we've all said the same thing.
Hi, I'm Jeff Rothstein. I've been a resident of the city for a while. Question I have is basically it's a question of cost. Can everyone hear me? The fear of some of the residents might be that next year, if you're in control of the program for the residents would jump significantly in value. So why not have a 5-year program where the costs are fixed, whatever the city agrees with, and handle it that way.
So, I can't speak for the ownership group. I don't own the assets, so and I wouldn't and couldn't encumber them for 5 years. I did earlier in the conversations offer to put a year or two out maximum adjusted rate. That didn't seem, it was a conversation I put on the table. I'm certainly open to some commitment that for as long as the hotel owns and operates the assets, I certainly can't do anything more than that, that the rates would be no greater than X or Y. So I'm certainly prepared to have a couple of years of comfort level. So something along those dialogues, I think that's, and of course, anytime I speak about contractual obligations with the assets, then I still run it up the flagpole as I need to and should. So I don't see an issue along some comfort level on rates farther out.
Okay, Ross, I think we're going to take you off the hook.
All right,
Thank you very much for.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Was there anybody else in the audience who would like to speak? And if not, we appreciate you all being here, and we'll bring it back to the council. Oh, all right. Would you like to come forward?
No problem.
Good morning. Good afternoon now.
Good afternoon. I'll move it as quickly as I can. Richard Nicolopoulos, 81 Via Las Flores. I had the opportunity to speak to the council on November 7th when I heard that the potential program would be changed. And I'm thankful to the council for sending out notices to all of the city club members. Even though it was 4 or 5 days, you still have a decent representation here for a short period of time. I just urge the council to re-examine the potential solutions that can be resolved. It seems to me that the general manager of the Western, Ross, is open to dialogue and discussion. And I, again, urge the city to understand, as Councilman Hobart indicated, 12 years, 13 years of a program that was important to the city. And you hate to see those kinds of programs diminished in a short period of time. And I hope that the discussion between the council and the subcommittees involved, you may create another subcommittee. And I know time is of the essence. The holidays are hitting us. But I see that Ross is open to dialogue and exchange. So I urge the council to look into that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we have one more speaker in the back here. Want to give everybody an opportunity who came out today to speak. So,
yeah, my name's Rob Waldner, and I've been in the Valley for about 5 years. One thing, you guys are running the club, we have a voice. Members can talk to you as we are today to express our concerns. If Weston takes it over, will we have that opportunity in the future? And that would be my concern. Would we just be having to do what they give us, or here we have the opportunity to get in front of you folks and tell us our concerns?
It would still be the Rancho Mirage Golf Club. You would still have the opportunity to come to us, and then we could go to the Weston and discuss those issues.
Okay, very good. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Great. Thanks again for coming out today. And now we'll have some discussion from the council. Iris, would you like to start?
Yes, absolutely. I welcome everyone here today, and I'm so glad that you did turn out, because your voice is very important to us. I would have to say that this is really not, in my opinion, a matter of semantics. I know that the Westin has always offered wonderful amenities. They are wonderful at their marketing strategies. The economy is really good now. Things are improving greatly. There's new offers to be made. They can be made throughout the Coachella Valley, throughout the country, and certainly throughout the membership that has taken pride in belonging to the Rancho Mirage Golf Club. I'm troubled by a couple of things here. Number one, I remember very well in the past, and some of you may also remember, there was a shipping line, a cruise line. It was called Sitmar, Sitmar. We traveled on it many times on the Caribbean coast and on the California coast. They were wonderful. They were going to be sold to Princess. And of course, everyone said, don't worry, nothing is changing. There won't be a thing that changes. Well, probably within a year, number one, all of their ships were gone. They were replaced by other ships, some of them better, some of them not. The personnel was different. The product was considerably different, and the price was considerably different. There was another instance that was brought to my mind. Living in the San Fernando Valley for many years, we had something called Hughes Market. It was a divine market. They sold wonderful foods. It was like every other market. Their prices were great. They had a more extensive selection of food items. And lo and behold, they were going to be sold to Ralph's. And I remember so vividly everyone saying, don't worry, nothing's changing. It's going to be the same Hughes Market. It's just going to have a different name. Within 2 weeks, there was not a remnant left of Hughes Market. The personnel was different, the product was different, and the prices were different, and they were not better. You know, we take a great deal of pride here in Rancho Mirage, specializing in providing for our residents. We provide for a lot of people other than our residents. The whole Coachella Valley benefits by our library and the free programming we do there, by our cultural commission and the wonderful prices that have been offered through the years for our programs. We are a giving city. We are very fortunate that we can be a giving city. And we want to give, and we want to continue to give. And we worked out a deal a few years back with the Westin Hotel. Apparently they were having some problems. Everyone in the economy was having problems. So we tried to accommodate. We tried to still provide for our residents and do it in the most gracious and dependable manner possible. Obviously, my concerns are shared by a number of people here. Number one, I'm concerned about members who had been members of the Rancho Mirage Golf Club will no longer have the opportunity to have every chance to, or will be competing with hotel guests for tea times. I think that in time, our members will kind of blend in with the rest of the membership of the Westin Hotel, and they'll be treated like a lot of other members in the Coachella Valley, which can be wonderful, but it won't be the same as the treatment that a lot of people are experiencing now. I think having the tea times is a major issue. Having the prices possibly increased next year or the year after or the year after is another concern. 1,100 members is a lot of people. And it's a lot of people that we want to satisfy. And it's a lot of people that I think that even though the economy is really good now, there are a lot of clubs that are still suffering. And there are a lot of golf courses that would really welcome the opportunity to have 1,100 people playing at their course. I'm not quite understanding what kind of advertising we would continue to do for the Westin program, because in my mind it would really be the Westin program. We have done negotiating every year, but I think negotiating every year is not something that the Westin is really going to want to do. It's worked for us because we were in charge. But when we're no longer in charge after the first or second or third year, how much negotiating is really going to be able to take place? When you consider that 1 in 16 residents here are are golfers, that's a big portion of our city that is here to play golf and enjoy all the amenities. And as far as offering a free round of golf for a guest, that is this year. What is going to happen next year and the year after and the year after? It all sounds wonderful, but is it really going to be wonderful? Is it going to be the way Rancho Mirage would really be proud to say that is still our program, even though we're not operating it, it's still our program, and all of our residents can take pride in knowing that we're taking care of them? My concern is the protection for all of our residents, and especially the ones who want to play golf and might have this taken away in some form. Certainly not completely, but certain things would probably be jeopardized when it's taken over by a large company. I find it very difficult without long-term guarantees by the Westin Hotel, guarantees long-term for enough tee time advance reservations where our residents would feel comfortable, whether it's 4 days or 5 days or 6 days. I think we should really be concerned about what our golfers are really comfortable with. And if it doesn't work out with the Westin Hotel, I think it's a shame. I think it's sad, especially since we've been doing this since 2002. We want to still provide for our golfers. And if we can't make the decision today, and if we need to have more time to investigate more options, then maybe that's a way to go. Maybe it isn't. Maybe we can come to some terms right here and now. But I don't want anyone in our community to be cut short of why they belong to this membership. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Iris. You raised the question of guarantees. What kind of guarantees? I'm just asking her a question, Dana. You asked.
Yes.
We've got another half an hour.
Well, my guarantees would be to provide whatever tee times, a reservation time for tee times, are comfortable with the residents. I don't think 4 days is adequate. I think 5 days or 6 days would certainly be more amenable.
Okay.
I think that there are so many wonderful opportunities for the Westin to approach Rancho Mirage residents and say, these are our coupons we're offering you. These are our discounts to our spa treatments. These are discounts to our restaurants. These are discounts that we're going to offer to everybody. We're going to offer them to you too. And you can take advantage of all these opportunities that we're going to offer to everybody. So just because they are or would be still members of the Rancho Mirage membership at the Westin, that doesn't mean they would be eliminated from all these other opportunities that the hotel would be offering. I'm very concerned, though, that some of the hotel guests are going to take precedent, and they should. They're hotel guests. That's part of their marketing.
You also raised the question of...
I want to make sure that the prices stay the same for at least 3 years.
Dana.
Okay. I want to make sure that the price of $75 stays the same for at least 3 years.
Okay.
And I want to make sure that whatever complaints, whatever issues are experienced by our golfers, that they have a voice and they are free, and we will be listening to them when they come to talk to us or to talk to the Westin Hotel.
Okay. Great. Thank you. I appreciate your comments. Dana, do you have something to say?
Yeah, you might guess that I do. I'd like to talk about the contract for just a second, because I think that Iris has raised an extremely important point. To some extent, I would label this contract as illusory. illusory. It's not something that means very much. Let me read a few things to our people. It starts off at Section 2. The city hereby transfers to the Weston the full control, operation, and administration of the golf program, as more particularly set forth. So we might have questions, and you might come to us. Doesn't mean anything. We can raise the same questions that you could raise to them. They have taken complete control. It goes on to say, all membership fees, green fees per round, in effect, remain during the term of this contract. The term of this contract is defined in another paragraph. The term is defined as Section 5. Weston shall perform those duties as set forth in Section 3 during the term of this agreement, which shall commence November 7, 2013, and expire November 8, 2014. These terms, everything that we would be agreeing to is dead at the end of 1 year, or approximately 1 year, subject to renegotiations. If the city is even in a position to negotiate on your behalf, we have no control, management, or authority. So this is a 1 year agreement, and I read it to mean that you're on your own after 1 year. They can say we'll negotiate. There's nothing here that says we will move into another contract. Here's a Section 16, termination or suspension. This agreement may be terminated or suspended with cause by either party at any time, provided that the respective party provides the other party at least 10 days' notice. Nothing in here that I've seen defines cause. So cause is, well, we can't afford it anymore. That's cause, and this program is dead and it's buried. And the city is no barrier between our membership and the Weston. We're just off on the sidelines saying, God, we worried about that happening, and maybe it's happened. The contract is just something that if the city's not putting it together, which we have for all these years, we've negotiated over every nickel and dime. If we're out of the picture, and we will be out of the picture in the minute we sign the contract, we're out, if we sign it. And I would rather take a chance on saying no to the Weston, letting those of our members who want to join the Weston do so with our complete blessing. But after that, that we still have a club that we offer our people, and maybe I am being a bit nostalgic. You have to suspect my motives to some extent, I suppose, since Ron Mepos and I started this program, and I frankly hate to see it die, particularly when I think that the Rancho Mirage community, golfing community, is not benefiting significantly by this deal. You're getting one friend golfs for free one time. And that's what you're getting that's essentially different. And I know that there's nobody here that finds that to be a compelling motivation. I'm just thinking that it's better that we have an agreement that the city can feel proud of as being the city program with whomever is going to be. And that's the way I'm leaning. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Ted, would you like to say anything?
Well, only from the standpoint of, the council is, very receptive to your needs. That's why we're here. We're representing you. And we want to come up with a program that you're satisfied with. And we will attempt to do that. We've heard a lot of dialogue here. A lot of us feel strongly about maintaining the program. And we're going to do everything we can to give you that opportunity to enjoy the Weston courses or conceivably additional courses. But you can be sure that there's going to be a lot of dialogue that goes on over the course of the next few days. I, for one, would like to continue this and explore all of our options.
Thank you, Ted. Again, thanks for coming out today. I think we have a good indication as to what your feelings are. We're here to offer the best program that we can to all of you. And at this point, I think from what Dana said, he has some concerns about the contract. If we were to go ahead and try and resolve this issue so that we maintain our relationship with the Westin, I think we can go back to them and talk to them about some of these concerns, about the guarantees, about the number of days for tea times, and that sort of thing. I think the Westin wants to maintain this relationship, and I think over the last 10 years, we've had a good relationship with them. It's always been, what can we do for our residents? And that's the most important thing. And that will continue to remain the most important. So I think we should go ahead and try and finalize a negotiation with the Westin, looking at those issues which have been discussed, and then come back and try to put together a contract for all of you before the end of the year so that we can get on with the new membership cards and that sort of thing. So let's see, Steve, since this is a study session, what options can we take now?
You can just provide direction to staff. It sounds like we're going to bring this item back, so you just direct staff to bring back what you want. Okay.
Ted, you want to make that motion?
Yes, I'll make the motion that this be continued for the benefit as much for the council. I would say that this ends up being an issue that the council will have to explore and negotiate as opposed to staff. I mean, this is at a council level. I don't think this is at a staff level. So my motion would be that the council continue this, that the subcommittee consisting of, I would like Dana and myself to have the opportunity to explore this and come up with some resolution. So my motion would be that the subcommittee continue to work on this over the course of the next week or so with the expectation of a resolution.
Okay, at this point, is there a second on that?
No.
At this point, there is a subcommittee, but we can change the subcommittee, and if you would like to be on the subcommittee, we can certainly look at that.
Yes, I would.
Okay. Is there any other discussion?
Well, I would like to amend that in some way, that it be an effort by all 5 of us or 4 of us or anyone at the city who feels comfortable approaching some other entities to see what might be available out there as far as other options with other golf clubs or other hotels. And I would hope that the Westin Hotel and Ross would want to go back and talk with whomever is necessary to find out what the best deal that they can come up with is. And perhaps we can all address this again very quickly and work out the best thing for our residents and the best thing for the Westin Hotel. But I think this should be a joint effort by everyone who is concerned about making this deal happen.
Iris, there's nothing that precludes us. I mean, that's exactly what we will be doing. Right. There's nothing that precludes us
but
from
I didn't want it to be
exploring those opportunities.
Right. I didn't want it to be limited to just the subcommittee.
Are we changing the subcommittee?
Pardon me?
The thought, Dana, would be that you and I would be exploring the opportunities with the subcommittee, that I would be joining the subcommittee with you to explore other opportunities as well.
With the Westin, you mean, or what?
Yes.
Outside the Westin. outside the Westin. In other words, so that we would be in a position to properly evaluate exactly what we want to do.
But who's going to be talking to the Westin is what I want to know.
Well, I would think the subcommittee, that's up to you.
The original motion was to go ahead and try and negotiate with the Westin to resolve these issues that Dana had concerns about. Now are we going to open this up to starting from
Well, I have
day one?
I have no objection, for example, to Ted and me meeting with Mr. Meredith and anybody else on their team to see if we can find a way to put this together and keep the club intact, keep Weston happy, keep us all happy.
Right.
If we can, and then report back to the council. And that's the motion that I think that Ted made, and that's the one I seconded.
Yeah,
it is. And by the way,
with you, Richard?
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's a
and that
Westin
doesn't preclude Iris. That doesn't preclude us
Westin
all
negotiating
from
subcommittee.
exploring other opportunities as well.
With that exploration.
Okay, so please vote. Could everybody vote once again, please?
Yeah, no, you're right about that. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries 4-0. And we would hope to bring this all back to you by the next council meeting, and so that we can get on with the future of the Rancho Mirage Golf Club. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.